Namaste, everyone. Let us begin with 3 ohms as usual. Please take a deep breath. Om. Om. Prabhatam, Namo Namaha, Namaste, depending on where you are. So let's start with the chanting of Yoga Sutras. Kranti, please go ahead. We'll share the sutra screen.
Yeah. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारम् शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम् सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतम् प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम् श्रीमते अनन्ताय नागराजाय नमो नमः। अथ साधनपादः तपः स्वाध्याय ईश्वरप्रणिधानानि क्रियायोगः समाधिभावनार्थः क्लेशतनूकरणार्थश्च अविद्या अस्मिता राग द्वेष अभिनिवेशाः क्लेशाः अविद्या क्षेत्रम् उत्तरेषां प्रसुप्त तनु विच्छिन्न उदाराणाम् अनित्य अशुचि दुःख अनात्मसु नित्य शुचि सुख आत्मख्यातिः अविद्या दृग्दर्शनशक्त्योः एकात्मता इव अस्मिता सुखानुशयी रागः दुःखानुशयी द्वेषः स्वरसवाही विदुषोऽपि समारूढः अभिनिवेशः ते प्रतिप्रसवहेयाः सूक्ष्माः ध्यानहेयाः तत्वृत्तयः क्लेशमूलः कर्माशयो दृष्टा अदृष्टजन्म वेदनीयः सति मूले तद्विपाको जात्यायुर्भोगाः ते लाधपरितापफलाः पुण्यहेतुत्वात् परिणाम तापसंस्कारदुःखै गुणवृत्तिविरोधाच्च दुःखमेव सर्वं विवेकिनः हेयं दुःखमनागतं दृश्ययोः संयोगो हेयहेतुः प्रकाशाक्रियास्थितिशीलं भूतेन्द्रियात्मकं भोगापवर्गार्थं दृश्यं विशेषाविशेषलिङ्गमात्रालिङ्गानि गुणपर्वाणि द्रष्टादृशिमात्रः शुद्धोऽपि प्रत्ययानुपश्यः तदर्थ एव दृश्यस्य आत्मा कृतार्थं प्रतिनष्टम् अपि अनष्टं तदन्यसाधारणत्वात् स्वस्वामिशक्त्योः स्वरूपोपलब्धिहेतुः संयोगः तस्य हेतुः अविद्या तदभावात् संयोगाभावो हानं तदृशे कैवल्यं विवेकख्यातिः अविप्लवा हानोपायः तस्य सप्तधा प्रान्तभूमिः प्रज्ञां योगाङ्गानुष्ठानात् अशुद्धिक्षये ज्ञानदीप्तिः आविवेकख्यातेः यम नियम आसन प्राणायाम प्रत्याहार धारणा ध्यान समाधयः अष्टौ अङ्गानि अहिंसा सत्य अस्तेय ब्रह्मचर्य अपरिग्रहाः यमाः जाति देश काल समय अनवच्छिन्नाः सार्वभौमाः महाव्रतम् शौच संतोष तपः स्वाध्याय ईश्वरप्रणिधानानि नियमाः वितर्कबाधने प्रतिपक्षभावनं वितर्काः हिंसादयः कृतकारिता अनुमोदिताः लोभ क्रोध मोहपूर्वकाः मृदु मध्य अधिमात्राः दुःख अज्ञान अनन्तफलाः इति प्रतिपक्षभावनम् अहिंसा प्रतिष्ठायां तत्सन्निधौ वैरत्यागः सत्य प्रतिष्ठायां क्रियाफल आश्रयत्वम् अस्तेय प्रतिष्ठायां सर्वरत्न उपस्थानं ब्रह्मचर्य प्रतिष्ठायां वीर्यलाभः अपरिग्रहस्थैर्ये जन्म कथं ता सम्बोधः शौचात् स्वाङ्गजुगुप्सा परैरसंसर्गः सत्त्वशुद्धि सौमनस्य ऐकाग्रय इन्द्रियजय आत्मदर्शन योग्यत्वानि च सन्तोषात् अनुत्तमः सुखलाभः कायेन्द्रियसिद्धि अशुद्धिक्षयात् तपसः स्वाध्यायात् इष्टदेवता सम्प्रयोगः समाधिसिद्धिः समाधिसिद्धिः ईश्वरप्रणिधानात्.
Thank you, Purna.
Thank you.
So, let me stop this share and I'll share another screen. Easier for everyone, I think. Okay. So we saw 2 weeks back, we stopped at Sutra 232. I'm sharing a new PDF. This is, you don't have this PDF with you, but the same sutras, but with word by word meaning. So I'm going to send this to you, not the entire PDF, but sutra with the word by word meaning. I'll send it after the class so that you don't have to write down. So this is available now. So I will do that. 2 weeks back, we stopped at Sutra 32. But anyway, we'll quickly do a review and get to Sutra 233. So we saw what tapaha, we saw what is active Kriya Yoga. So we saw active Kriya Yoga is tapas or tapaha, self-study and devotion to God. Ishvara Pranidhanani, Swadhyaya, and tapaha, burning of the tapas is burning of all the karma and klesha patterns, all the embedded programs, burning of them. So that's what we saw as Kriya Yoga. And why do we do Kriya Yoga? The main goal or the intention is to use the body as a tool to get rid of our kleshas, because where did the kleshas come from? The kleshas have been coming from many births, kleshas and karmas, right? It's part of the chitta. So every time we take a birth, that is an opportunity for us to get rid of all these karmas and kleshas. That is the only opportunity we have. So whoever realizes this, whoever understands this, and whomever this principle is fully established in them, they will use the body as a tool throughout their life only to do this. Whenever, not that they won't do other things, they will do other things also, but with a sense of dispassion, a detachment, they will do that. But they will use the body as a tool to get rid of all this. Okay, so that's what the second sutra is saying. So, so we have defined Kriya Yoga, alluding to the concept of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga, which we saw in the earlier chapters. The first 20 sutras in chapter 1 was on Karma Yoga, and up to sutra number 30 29 was Bhakti Yoga, from 22 to 29. And then from 30 to 55, where we spoke about Samadhi and all that, how we must have a single pointed focus. And Patanjali Muni suggested you can pick anything that you want to get that focus. That focus is Dhyana Yoga. So now he has explained Kriya Yoga. So we'll go on, we'll move on to see what, since he explained that kleshas, we have come here to get rid of the kleshas and karmas. He goes on to define the kleshas and karmas. The kleshas. He defines 5 types of kleshas: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and asmita, and abhinivesha. So, and then he goes on to define the 5 of them. Avidya, what is avidya? What does avidya does? And he says the field of incorrect perspective. Incorrect perspective is avidya, right? Avidya always makes you think in a wrong way. That's what is avidya, the incorrect. It gives you the incorrect perception of life. He says uttaresham, it is right on the top of the stack of all this other kleshas. So out of the 5, avidya is at the top of the stack, and once we remove avidya, the rest of them don't have anything to stand on. They also will fall off. That's what he says. And then he says avidya can be dormant, weak, broken up, or fully active. That's what he says in that prasupta tanu vichinna udharanam. That's what he says. It can be dormant, it can be weak. Tanu is weak, vichinna is broken up. That's why we say in number of places anuvichanna, meaning unbroken. So here it is broken. Udharanam, fully, otherwise it can be fully active, like in all of us, or in most of us. And then what does this do? It makes you think. What does it do? It makes you think that all impermanent things to be permanent. This avidya makes you think that all impermanent things as permanent, impure thing as pure, and then all miserable things, dukkha as sukha, as that which gives you pleasure, and then anything that all these things, he says, is in a way that it makes you feel whatever is really atmic, anatmic. Actually, it makes all that which is not the core of you, makes you feel that that is the core. Makes you feel anything that is all that is anatmic, makes you think that it is the atmic thing to do. With me? So we saw all this. And then he went on to explain about each one. Each one he explains asmita. What is asmita? That self-sense. Asmita is that self-sense. Without the self-sense, you cannot experience anything. So that is, he speaks about asmita, sukha, sukham, raga. He speaks about raga as that which follows from that sukham, feeling of sukham. So all desires come from that feeling of sukham. That which follows from joy or pleasure sensation, pleasure sensation is raga or desires. And then same thing for dvesha also, anything to do with dukkha, anything that you attribute to pain and suffering is actually dukkha, is dvesha. And then he speaks about abhinivesha, which is that feeling of I am the doer, I am in control. Because of me, everything is happening. And this, he says, even this particular abhinivesha is established even in vivekina, even in people of wisdom. That's what it says. Learned people also takes even learned people for a ride. That's what it says. And then, how do we get rid of all these things? So he uses the word pratiprasavaha. So by preventing it from coming out, prasavaha is to deliver or come out. Pratiprasavaha is to take it back. Just by subtle opposition, sukshma, in a subtle way, when you obstruct it, then we can get rid of it. And so he uses dhyana as a methodology here, because entire thing is going to be on dhyana, right? We have already completed karma yoga. We spoke about bhakti yoga. We also spoke about kriya yoga, and he gave an introduction on dhyana yoga in the first chapter, about 25 sutras. He spoke on that. So he now again says dhyana is the basis of all this. That is how we are going to oppose all this. The chitta vrittis are going to be opposed by dhyana. That's what he says. So, and then so all this nature of impurities he explained, and he has also given a short methodology of using dhyana. And then he moves on to what is the cause of all this? What is the cause? So I'm going to just quickly give you a of all, why do we have all these difficulties? He is saying the laws of karma. The laws of karma is due to the laws of karma, we are having all these difficulties. Meaning, this karma is the reason that we are reborn. The karma is a reason for feeling where we are born, etc. In which environment where we are born, all that is based on karma. All that he says. So those are all part of laws of karma. In Sutra 12 to 14, that's what he is describing. And then he speaks about the cause of karma and rebirth in the next three sutras, 215 to 217. He is speaking about understanding the cause of karma and rebirth. We saw all this. We saw in very detail. We saw how the karma will make you be born in a particular family, in a particular environment, with particular siblings. All that is controlled by karma, and including your longevity. Everything is controlled by karma. That's what it says. Having said that, the next few sutras deals with how to dissociate with the system of activity caused by inherent impurities and makes one a pure observer and takes us to the path of liberation. That is, when we become a pure observer, even the gunas will not bother us. I mean, the gunas will be flowing through us, but we will be unaffected by it. That's what it says. And then in the next few sutras, until Sutra 26, he speaks about how to overcome this perception of I am the doer, right? We are saying where we do that, we say do that by then normal people like us, we always calculate everything, right? Nashtam and anashtam. If there is a profit or is there a loss in any particular activity, in any particular relationship, everything is based on loss and profit calculation for sadharanatva. That's what it says. Common, normal people like us, we are doing that calculation every activity, in every thought, in every relationship. So that's what is highlighting here, that how to overcome that kind of a calculation that we are doing in every activity. So then I don't know if this diagram is part of your the PDF. After the fourth, I don't know how many of you have seen this. After the fourth chapter, after Kaivalya Pada, there are a lot of definitions. Whatever definitions I speak to you in the class about Chitta, Chetana, Purusha, Prabhu. We have not come to Prabhu yet. All these things are there. So please read that. And as part of that, there is a diagram which shows you the kleshas, karmas, how they act, and how it comes back to us. So this is the chart, this is the diagram which shows all the four types of kleshas: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abnivesha. Okay.
Okay, sir.
See, I mean, if you read this chart, and we will come back to it later, it is self-explanatory, actually. Okay. If you see here, I don't know if you are able to see it. Let me. Okay. Some of these things are in dotted lines. Can you see that?
What
Some
are
of
those?
them.
You're able to hear me?
Yes.
What is that 24? What do the numbers indicate?
Those are sutras.
Oh,
Sutra numbers.
Okay.
Not 224,
2.4.
2.4. Yeah, 2.5 is explaining about avidya. If you go back to the sutra, you will see that.
Okay.
Here, if you see, there are dotted lines in some of them. Like Abhinivesha is in dotted line. Asmita is in dotted line. Can you see
Yes,
that?
we can see. Yeah, we can
Okay.
see.
Yeah. So what he's saying here is those are in dotted lines are not direct. The direct ones which cause sanskara are avidya. If you can see, it goes down. It's a bold line. Raga, dvesha. Raga, dvesha are the main ones. That is when we uh, classify everything as good and bad. That is the main thing that causes the sanskara. Sanskara means the karma patterns, karma patterns that forms. And raga, dvesha also, when it is so strong, it creates leaning. Next time when we are born with that vasana. Even in this life, we will have that. In the next life also, we may come with that vasana. Like if I like music a lot in this life, the next birth, I may come with that a liking of music, or even with the gift of being able to sing or play on some instrument and things. That is why we see some very young children, even by the age of 2, some of the children we see videos that come to us. They are able to identify ragas and things like that, right? They even correct their own teacher, the mother or father who is teaching them. And if they slightly go off track, and because some of the ragas are so close to each other, it's very easy to slip from one raga to the other. So the child will say, you are slipping. 2-year, 3-year-old children. You might have seen this video. So this is what he says here. If you take avidya, that is why there's a very big box for avidya, because avidya is at the top of the pile. action with avidya, incorrect perspective that we saw, and the sanskaras together. So raga and dvesha are creating the sanskaras, and that is acting on that with avidya is going to create karma patterns. Because this is the one which is going to create the chittavrittis, and chittavrittis cause reactions, and the reactions are going to bring karma back to us. With me, people?
Yes, sir.
Everything is documented and given to you, all of you. Please don't sleep on the notes that has been given to you. Please read. And it is the after the 4th chapter, it is a nice in English prose. It is not like the sutra, one and a half line thing, brief summary. It is nicely written as an essay. So you will be able to understand their own. If there is any difficulty in understanding it, bring it or send me a question or raise it in the class or in the tutorial. We can discuss those things. Okay. So it creates karma patterns, and that also is getting fed into the samskara with the created karma patterns produce gunas, the gunas, whatever is flowing in us. So from our gunas can change based on that. Gunas are rajas, tamas, and sattva. So the composition can change based on the change in sanskaras. So these are all interconnected. That's what he's saying. Asmita and Abnivesha is in dotted line to tell you they also contribute to sanskara, but not as much as raga, dvesha, and the created karma patterns. Okay, that's why you see that. And sanskaras make the gunas. They make a change in the gunas, and the gunas result in action. And once again, that box creates a karma pattern. That's why we are stuck. Okay. So let's move on from here. These are the two things diagrams that you must know bit by bit. This one and the other one that I normally put up. Hold on. Just share that. The moment I share that, you'll know. So this, the yogic model. We discuss this. I bring this up all the time, right? This is where we are. This two blue boxes are us at this point of time. The gross body and the body of subtle vibrations. These are the two things that's existing in us. And we have a connectivity of that with our own copy of chitta up above. And that chitta has connectivity to the unmanifest divine, and it also has connectivity to Prakriti. So this green line that is connecting to our chitta, our individual chitta, this is the line that is weak. This is the connectivity to the unmanifest divine. This is what is quite weak. And we are trying to re-establish that through all this understanding of the sutras and doing the sadhanas. With me, people?
Yes, sir.
Even if you are not with me, I'm moving forward. So I will go back to this. So having understood all this, let me reduce this. So the next few sutras, he has explained how we have to cross the 7 boundaries to get to samadhi state. In the present condition, with all this karma kleshas and all this, we have to cross 7 boundaries to get to kaivalyam or samadhi state. So the 7 boundaries, when he says when you cross 7 boundaries, is actually 8 parts. So that is what is Ashtanga Yoga. And Ashtanga Yoga is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So out of which we covered yama and niyama. Yama is that which is the core of us, or the atmic part of us, or that which is special to us. That is our conscience. So yama is ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. Those are the 5 components of yama. Ahimsa, we know, is avoiding any kind of wanton violence. That's the difference. Ahimsa is, normally people say non-violence. It is actually avoiding wanton violence. We spoke about it. We said, a soldier is at the border, and when an enemy approaches, he has to kill, right? But on a day-to-day basis, on a street, somebody is finding fault with you, or somebody is unhappy with you and they use harsh words. You don't go and kill them. That is wanton violence. The ahimsa is to avoid wanton violence, avoiding wanton violence. Satya is speaking the truth, that is truthfulness. Asteya is not stealing. Brahmacharya is that curiosity to learn. It is nothing to do with celibacy. It is wrongly attributed to celibacy. It is not. And aparigraha is non-possessiveness, not being possessive. So possession is also with respect to very close relationships. You should not possess your spouse. Be a friend of your spouse. Okay? Don't possess your spouse. Give them that freedom. And similarly with children. Similarly in all relationships. Be friends with them. So it applies not only to material things, but to relationships. That's where this possessiveness, because of possessiveness, there is so much of struggle for us in life. So we saw in detail all this yama, and then how this yama is such a important principle. Mahavritam, he says, such an important principle that he says here, you see, anavichannaha, unbroken, kalena anavichannaha, unbroken by time, he says. What is unbroken by time? The following or the observances of yama is unbroken by time. It has been there since ages. Jati, where one is born, that is the race of birth, or desha, country of birth, or kingdom of birth, or kala, or time. That is, the kala is era, epoch, era. Samaya, the time of the time period or the time, it's unbroken by all these things. So yama existed 10,000 years back, 200,000 years back. It exists today also. Such is the importance of yama, following these principles, which are our conscience, which is our core. So we just spoke about what are the 5 niyamas: shaucha, santosha, and then tapaha, swadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhanani. Shaucha is cleanliness. Santosha is contentment. Santosha is not happiness. Santosha is contentment. And Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani, we already know. Right? Because we saw all this tapas. Tapa, that's how we started this chapter. Tapas, tapaha, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhanani, kriya yoga, we said. So we know what is tapas. Tapas, meditation, we know. To burn the karma karma patterns. Swadhyaya is self-study, pondering, reflection. All that is swadhyaya. Ishvara pranidhanani, surrender to the divine. It is not anything else. It is surrender. Surrender, we have seen, we have spoken about this a lot. Surrender is that complete acceptance of the cosmic flow. No questions asked. That is surrender. Okay. So these are all the 5 niyamas. That is all we have to follow. Niyamas are schedules that we follow in our life. So that's why we discussed this, how each family or each group of people have a certain schedule. As soon as you get up in the morning, you go brush your teeth, clean your face, comb your hair, and then come and spend a few minutes in prayer, and then you have your drink or whatever, morning beverage. Then you go have a shower, do all the Sandhya Vandana or puja, prayer, all that you do. It's a set. Until you go to bed, there is a set of things that you do one after the other. So this is what this niyama is all about. So that kind of a niyama where you wake up at a scheduled time every day, between say 5 and 5:30 or 4:30 to 5 in the morning or 5:30 to 6 in the morning. You wake up at the same time within 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour every day. And similarly, you go to bed around the same time, between 9 and 9:30 or 9:30 to 10. You keep that schedule. So that helps in the body to maintain that biorhythm. Day after day after day, the body will remain in biorhythm. And when the body is in a good rhythm, and the physical body is in a good rhythm, it will help you tremendously in moving, in evolving spiritually. So that's all we saw as niyama. And now we will move on to Sutra 33. So we are given a big introduction, huge introduction. I've taken a lot of time. So now we'll get here. One second. Okay. All right. 233, Sutra 233. Is this readable for all of you? Yeah, I can.
Yes.
Now you can, correct? Okay. Vitarka badane pratipaksha bhavanam. Vitarka badane pratipaksha bhavanam. Tarka vitarka. Tarka is having argument. Vitarka is Vishesha Tarka. That's what it means, Vitarka. So, arguments, logical analysis, whatever you want to say. Badane is that which binds. Vitarka badane. What does it do? Vitarka badane, what does it bind? Pratipaksha bhavanam. So, basically what we are saying in the sutra is, what is actually are the obstacles to yama and niyama? Why don't we do it on a regular basis? Why are we unable to do yama and niyama on a regular basis? Why are we not able to follow yamas? Things that are atmic to us, things that are the core of us. Why now and then we slip away from that? Or why we are unable to follow a daily schedule, niyamas? So what he is saying is the Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Pratipaksha Bhavanam. The Bhavanam is that feeling. So what we normally do, supposing I have to get up, every day I get up at say 5 o'clock. One day I will go to bed late in the night, and I will justify myself saying I went to bed half an hour or 40 minutes late yesterday, so I will sleep in late. Right? Things like that. So we justify in ourselves to to prevent this niyama from happening the following day. In a normal sequence or normal schedule, we don't follow, and we will use this as an excuse, or we will say, okay, in this instance alone, because it benefits me, I will say lies. I know that I have to sell this product. I have to sell this to somebody. And if I tell them the real price, they won't give me that price. So I will raise it by $30. And generally this person I know will ask for a discount of $20 or $25. So then it will work out. So these kinds of, we will justify ourselves to do these kinds of things. There are many things that we'll do. Stealing also is one more thing. We'll steal, oh, only this time because I don't have this. I've been wanting this for a long time. And now this person has left this behind. I will take it. I will not inform them that they have left it in my house. These kinds of justifications we do. So he says, so these are the things, these kinds of arguments, justifications are the ones that bind us from, that prevent us, that are the obstacles for following yama niyama. And the way to oppose them is pratipaksha bhavana. When you get thoughts like this, oppose those thoughts. Put yourself in such a way saying that if I do this, what will happen to me? So the next sutra is saying that. So let's look at the next sutra, what it says. So is this clear? Vitarka badane pratipaksha bhavanam is clear to everyone? Okay. 34, Sutra 34. Vitarka hinsadaya kritakarita anumodita lobha krodha moha purvaka mridu madhya adimatra dukkha ajnana ananta phala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. Vitarka insadaya kritakarita anumodita lobha krodha moha purvaka mridu madhya adimatra dukkha ajnana ananta phala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. So pratipaksha bhavanam we know, that is, we try to oppose what we are wrongly thinking. That is pratipaksha bhavanam. That's what we saw in the earlier sutra. Opposing those kinds of stupid thoughts that we are getting. Vitarka. Once again, it is vitarka, same thing. Logic or argument or justification, or whatever you want to call. So this argument, logic is not, you're not having this with others. You're having inside yourself. You're arguing inside yourself so that you can justify what you're doing. Hinsadaya, what causes pain? Himsam. We say, right? Hinsa. Ahimsa. All those things come from the hinsadaya, what causes pain? Krita, act that is done. Karita, act that is caused to be done. Some cause is coming to me, because of that I do something. Anumodita is approve it. we are trying to do something and we are approving it by all this. Lobha is greed. Generally, greed also it is because of the desire for gains. We saw that anashtam, nashtam, anashtam calculation. Anashtam, we don't want to lose in anything. Anashtam. For the sake of that, we'll do anything. Krodha, we know anger. Moha, we know inappropriate understanding. Delusion, infatuation, all that. Purvaka is not after or thereafter. It is Purvaka means before, whatever has happened before. So here it is implying motivation actually. That's what he says. Lobha, Krodha, Moha, Purvaka. All four put together what it means. Greed, anger, infatuation. Okay. Mridu is soft, weak, little or gentle. We have seen this. Mridu, Madhya, Ati. We have seen already. You remember that when we spoke about intensity of effort in Sutra in chapter 1. At that time, he spoke on Mridu, Madhya, Adi. Depending on the intensity of your effort, you will also reach states at that speed. That's what he said. Hopefully, you are able to recall all that. Otherwise, please read those sutras. Please revisit sutras. So that's what Mridu, Madhya, Adi. Matra is magnitude. So Mridu, Madhya, Adi, Matra, all four put together means little, medium or large in magnitude. That is whatever we are speaking about. Dukha is what brings us misery. Ajnana is ignorance or lack of understanding or lack of knowledge or lack of awareness. That which is opposite to vidya. Jnana, ajnana, right? So knowledge and ignorance. So ananta is unending, phala is fruit. So dukkha, ajnana, ananta phala is fruit that brings misery, ignorance, and are unending. So all the four put together, that's what that is. Iti is this or this way. Pratipaksha bhavanam, opposing that thought. That's what we saw in the previous sutra. So what he is saying in the sutra, in summary, if we see, I will send you this with all the meanings of each and every word for all the sutras that we cover from here on. So if we see this, so by logic, by vitarka, by argument, acts that cause pain to others are done by us or caused to be done by us. Okay. But because of logic, by logically analyzing it, we cause pain, and we cause pain because we justify it. We say, oh, it's okay to do this because this will bring me. That's what he's saying. Motivated by greed. Why are we doing this? This is because we are motivated by greed, anger, infatuation. That is all these desires that we have. And the intensity could be little, moderate, or high degree, depending on that intensity. We do all these things. And these things can be opposed by this thought of that if we do this, it is going to bring us unending misery there, and that will be the fruit. If we do this, this is the fruit that we are going to get. We are going to get unending misery. If we understand that, then that pratipaksha bhavana, we can use that thought we can use the opposing thought from getting into this kind of situation. That's what he's saying in this sutra. Okay. So Pratipaksha Bhavanam is all these various things that we do to oppose that by putting ourselves in the shoes of others and seeing how it will cause pain to them. By my doing an activity, how it will cause a pain to my friend or my relative or my spouse or my children. Understanding that, and that is how we oppose this feeling of wanting to do something stupid which will hurt others, doing activities that will cause pain and suffering to others. So having understood that, so why did he say this? We spoke about these two sutras, 33 and 34. He spoke about it as these are the ones which cause obstacles in the yama and niyama process, right? To perform yama and niyama on a consistent and constant basis, we said this pratipaksha bhavanam is important. Whenever we find that we are moving away from our core, we have to apply this pratipaksha bhavana. Put yourself in the other's shoe. And don't say, oh, they certainly deserve this. If we were in their shoes, would we want that pain to come to us? Certainly we won't want that pain to come, even if we have done something wrong. So that acceptance is necessary. Put yourself in their shoes. That's what he said. Okay. I will cover just one or two more sutras and then we'll stop there. He is now going to define the 5 yamas. We only gave the meaning. Now he is saying, if we follow these yamas, what will we get? This is we normally ask, right? What do I get if I do this? So he's also giving you that. Ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidhau vaira tyagah. Ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidhau vaira tyagah. Ahimsa, not hurting others. No wanton violence, not hurting others. Pratisthayam. We have seen this earlier also. This pratisthayam. It means established. Established or established in. Tat is that. Sannidhav is the presence of. Tat sannidhav means in its presence. That is in the presence of ahimsa. In the presence of ahimsa. That's what it means. Ahimsa, sannidhav means in the presence of ahimsa. Vaira is enmity. Tyagaha is given up. So he's saying, established in the presence of ahimsa. Ahimsa is not hurting others, right? When you are fully established in ahimsa, when you are fully with ahimsa, in not hurting others, in not hurting anything for that matter, wantonly not hurting anything. When you have that fully established, when we have it fully established in us, what happens? Enmity goes away. Enmity is given up. That tyaga is giving up, right? Sacrifice. Enmity is given up. Enmity goes away. See, when you're not in any way violent to others in thought, word, or in speech, why would there be enemies? Enemies happen to us only because of some kind of friction, some kind of wrong thought, some kind of wrong speech, some kind of wrong action has happened. That's how enmity happens. So that goes away. Next sutra, Satya Pratishtayam. This is what we saw, right? We saw Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, all that we saw. So for each one, he is defining here. Satya Pratishtayam, Kriya, Phala, Shrayatvam. So in truthfulness, Satya is truthfulness. What is established in truthfulness? He says, Kriya is actions. Phalashtrayam. Phalashtrayam is fruitfulness. So in established in truthfulness, our actions are very effective, supported in fruitfulness. So whatever, when you are established in truthfulness, whatever actions you do will bring fruits, not only to you, to others also. That's what he's saying here. Established in truth, when you are established fully in truthfulness, all your actions will be very effective, and it will bear fruits. And then he says, Aste, non-stealing. Non-stealing pratishtayam, Asteya pratishtayam, sarvarasna upasthanam. When you are established in non-stealing, when you don't have a single thought of stealing, no, fully established in this, when you have that, sarvaratna, all gems, implying all materially precious things, approaches you, comes to you on its own. Or meaning is, established in non-stealing, all precious things come to you or enter or approach to you. Meaning, not only it will come to you, also people when they, supposing I have to go out of town, they will trust you. They will say, oh, I have 100 sovereigns of gold. I don't want to leave it in my house and go. Somebody might steal it. Some thief might come. So I will leave it with you. They will trust you and leave it with you. So that's why it says, Sarvaratna Upasthanam. All these things come to you automatically. Not that you have to possess it. Anyway, you are given a possession already, or you are going to give up. So all these things happen to us. Brahmacharya pratishtayam virya labha. So brahmacharya, the curiosity to learn. I already said brahmacharya is not celibacy. Celibacy is one aspect of that. If when before during that period before a person gets married, they say you have to follow celibacy. Unfortunately, brahmacharya is equated to celibacy. It is not. One can have brahmacharya, that is the curiosity to learn, even after marriage. So brahmacharya, curiosity to learn, when you are fully established in that, what happens to you? You get virya, vigor, energy, labha. That is what you gain. That comes to you on its own. Established in curiosity to learn, great energy or enthusiasm is gained. So you are learning Patanjali Yoga Sutras, you understand a few sutras. So that gives you the energy to learn more. And then you apply it to your life in certain situations. Oh, then you understand life much better. Problems are getting resolved. So that gives you more vitality to learn. That's what he's saying here. The curiosity to learn. Aparigraha stairye janma kathanta sambodha. Aparigraha stairye janma kathanta sambodha. Aparigraha, non-covetedness, non-possessiveness. Stairya, anchored in that. Janma is birth or any given lifetime. Kathanta, what it is. Janma Kathanta means what life is, or where it comes from and where it goes. Sambodha, becoming aware of. So, in summary, what that means is anchored in non-coveting attitude, anchored in non-possessive attitude, one becomes aware of what life is all about. What life is all about is what you will get when you give up possessiveness. You will understand life. Where we come from and where we go. Right? People accumulate wealth, so much wealth. Even if they have billions, they want more billion wealth. Finally, when they die, can they take even one penny? They cannot. What should one be doing? One should be gaining Atma Vidya, because that is the only thing that you can carry forward with you. It will be part of the Chitta, it will go. Chitta cannot take any material thing. It can take spiritual things with it. That is why it can take Atma Vidya, it will take karma patterns, it will take avidya, it will take the kleshas with it, it will take vasanas with it, all that it will take, all the software it will take, all the non-material things it will take. So on that note, we will conclude today's session. So we have completed 239. We'll start with Sutra 240 next week, next Sunday. Any questions? Please revise all the sutras. We have covered, especially in chapter 2, we have covered a lot of sutras. So unless you read the sutras, they will all just evaporate. Only when you read the sutras, you will get doubts. Especially the sutras on gunas, the sutras on karmas. Those are all very important sutras. Not that other sutras are not important. So very, very important sutras. Otherwise, every week when we come here, it will all look new. And also, please watch the video when it is posted. Go back, revise. That's the only way to make the understanding deeper. And I'm always there. You can always send questions. You can always call. And this Wednesday, we have a tutorial. So you can note down the questions. We can also do some discussion there. But you don't have to wait until Wednesday. You can send questions. You can call and ask. You can send an email if you want, whatever way you want to do, that is fine. But you must have this as a niyama, that I'm going to revise this week. We did 5 sutras. We covered 5 or 6 sutras in the class today. So I'm going to cover one sutra. You must make it as a part of you, that every day one sutra I will take and study it, whatever was covered in the last week in deep. And then I will also study about 5 or 6 sutras that we have covered so far. That way one can cover all the sutras that we have studied so far. We studied 55 sutras in chapter 1, and now we have covered almost 40 sutras. So 95 sutras, we are almost halfway through. So you must know all the sutras. You must be able to, you must understand all the sutras. Even if you are not able to remember the sutras by heart, that is fine. But at least you must know in what context that sutra is, where it is, So unless you read it, revise it on a regular basis, and after some time it will kind of settle down in you. It will digest and it will be there with you. Any questions? No question. Okay. Namaste, everyone. I'll see
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Somebody said
Namaste.
something.
No,
No.
I said thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Oh, thank you. Namaste.